And now we're going to get started. So, and what I didn't do is I'm going to mute everybody out, which means that, Emily, you'll have to unmute yourself in a second. I just want to make sure we've got a clear call. Welcome, everybody. This is, where are we in the month? This is the beginning of the month. This is the beginning of the month. So welcome to all of you. The time goes so quickly. It's just amazing to me. And because we are in a business where you don't have to work Monday through Friday, I am so off on my days. I really am. I'm never sure what day it is, the middle of the month, the beginning of the month. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I like it. So with that said, I'm excited for tonight's call. And I'm Nikki Cotton, for those of you that don't know, and I've been with the Juice Plus company for more than 33 years. And what I love so much, and we say it a lot, is this community. And I don't know how long I met Emily, maybe 8 or 9 years ago. I mean, I think you were not in the business all that long, Emily. And I just, honestly, I really fell in love with her. She's just delightful. She's got this great energy, and she really cares. And she remembers me whenever I'm around, and that makes me feel so good. So I'm going to make you and me bigger so that we can, and I'm going to come on to you, Emily, not come on to you. I'm going to add you to the spotlight here. Oh, there we go.
That's perfect. I love that.
Yes. So here we are. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of an introduction, Emily, and then I'm going to ask Emily a bunch of questions. So here we go. I'm just going to tell you just a little bit about Emily. She's got, what happened? Am I still there?
Yep.
Okay, on my screen, it's completely black. I don't know what happened. Let's see. I can't see anything. This is
back to meetings.
What?
Go back to meetings. Look on the left-hand side and see if you can see meeting.
It's black.
Okay.
I can't see a thing. My screen is black. There's no
Click your-
words.
Try hitting escape, Nikki.
Yeah, try hitting
I
your
did. I hit escape. I'm hitting return. I'm hitting shift. I'm hitting tab. This is, wait, you know what? Wait, I think I know. Did I do? Oh, wait a second.
brightness?
Got it. Nope, then I went off. All right, so now it's just really weird. There we go. I hit, do you know there's a light button on your computer?
Yeah.
Black. I hit it. I've never had that happen to me before. So here we go. I love this. So where'd it go? So Emily graduated with a degree in marketing and advertising. And this is the stuff I actually didn't know about Emily. I think I knew more. Usually you know the businessy things about people before you know who they are. I feel like I knew Emily as who she is before I knew this other stuff about her. So she was in marketing and advertising, and she took the path less traveled and hired herself out of college to pursue her Juice Plus business. So she's got a passion for entrepreneurship, a strong belief in the power of building relationships and connection, and that you really sense that when you meet Emily. And she's really excelled in the world of network marketing, and she made national marketing director at 27 years old. Wow, you had to be one of the youngest, right, Emily?
Yeah, probably like top 5, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so. She's a brand new mom. Her passion is helping women, helping them prioritize faith, family, finances without sacrificing their health. And she does that through personal growth and network marketing. And a fun fact about Emily, she was born in Las Vegas. She got engaged in Las Vegas, not when she was born. That happened way years later. She loves to play tennis. Do you play pickleball, Emily?
I do. My husband says you need to ditch the tennis and play pickleball. So we've been playing pickleball.
So fun. We'll have to play that together. I totally love it. She loves to travel to the beach. She doesn't go a day without Jesus or with her Juice Plus. So yay, Emily, I'm so glad for you to be, and she's absolutely beautiful. You
guys are so sweet. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Nikki.
Absolutely. So first of all, how old is your daughter?
She just turned 6 months last week, which is crazy.
And what's her name?
Olivia.
Olivia, what a beautiful name. So why did you decide to start your Juice Plus business? And was it always a plan A from the beginning?
Yeah, so I'm excited to share my story tonight. I really started out with a really small vision, but it was what a lot of our visions probably started out with. And I just wanted to get my products paid for. But I like to kind of think back and say that I kind of said yes to this business. And I think, some of us can relate to this. I said yes more than once, right? We say yes for one reason, and then down the road, we might say yes again because you want to go a little bit more in. So my vision started to grow, and it was really through my mentors asking me such a simple but profound question. It was, where do you want to be in the next 5 to 10 years? And so I started to catch the vision with this business that I could design my own days. I wouldn't have to leave my future kids. I was not a mom at the time. I was 20 years old when I started this business, but I always had desires to be a mom and have a family. And so I wanted to kind of build something now then that I would have now. I love that I could work it at my own pace, set my own goals. I think we can all say this community helps us dream bigger and think bigger. When we step into this a little bit more, we realize how small we're playing. So that definitely was eye-opening for me. But I had no idea that this would become my plan A. I loved being able to work from my phone, which back then, like, network marketing was not the thing to do. Now I feel like everyone kind of is open to the idea of network marketing, right? But like Nikki said, it's really the community of incredible women that have not only become friends, but like truly feel like family to me. And then, of course, I love that every single dollar that I was earning with my Juice Plus paycheck was an impact, which after graduating college, like Nikki said, I like to say I hired myself, and I kind of went all in on building my business. And that's when I started to get a bigger vision of like, okay, this could be my full-time thing. I was not making a full-time income at the time, but I thought, what if I focused on relationships, became a student of the industry, which I'll talk about tonight, learned a little bit more about the product, got confidence in the business, got confidence with my personal growth, and invested in all those things. So I feel like I'm just beginning, even though, just a few years ago I made NMD. Now I really know what that feels like to say, I just feel like I'm getting started. So I did not know it was going to be my plan A in the beginning, but my vision was I just wanted to pay for my own products in college at the time.
And was your husband supportive of you? Did you have that?
Oh, that's a great question. He
I
definitely
know that wasn't one of our plans, but it just
Yeah.
occurred to me, and I'm just wondering what other, everybody does it slightly different with their partners.
Yeah. So at the time, my husband and I were just dating. Obviously, he was my boyfriend, but we started dating in high school. So we're high school sweethearts, and he was definitely supportive. I think he definitely was sold out on Juice Plus. I don't think he really understood like the career of what network marketing could offer. But he was supportive because we come to find out like a few years later, we had like the husbands behind the NMDs call on one of our team calls. And he shared something that I had never really connected. And he said, I grew up with my mom being home with me. And so I would love for you to be home with our kids one day. And so he just kind of caught that vision. And of course, like we all know, every single time we bring our spouse or our partner to an event, they kind of catch the bug. They kind of catch the Juice Plus fever, right? They kind of catch the vision. So every single time he showed up in the community, he saw the potential, he saw the vision. And so he's kind of really been supportive since day one, which is really awesome to think back on. It's a great question.
Yeah, it really is. That's a really gift. So how do you feel in the early days? How did you gain momentum enough to create, going to NMD? What was that like for you? And there's a couple questions here, but how about, were there ups and downs while you were creating that momentum? Or was it sailing?
Yes. Well, right off the bat, when I said yes, I was just really excited. I think we can all kind of relate to that. I had no idea what I was doing, but I did whatever my sponsor and upline told me, which I started having in-person events with my best friend. I was really good about connecting people on the phone. So I had connection calls with my mentor. And then I've always loved sharing on social media from the start. Maybe it's my background. I don't know. It's like my creative outlet. It's never really made me nervous. Of course, there's like comfort zones that I've gotten out of to grow and become better, but it's kind of always been a fun thing for me. So those three things: in-person events, connection calls, and social media. But it's kind of interesting looking at my journey to NMD. And I said this in my NMD speech. It was not hopefully you guys all know. And if you don't know, this is a great reminder that success is not linear. The journey to NMD is not linear, right? It's like the ups and downs of personal growth and, failures and setbacks and lessons and all of the things, right? And I never really like to say there's failures in this business. There's just opportunities to learn through experiences, right? And so I want to say achieved QNMD within about 2.5 years. And then I don't like to say I was stuck at QNMD for 5 years. I just had a lot of personal growth to do. And I was totally okay with that. I think in the moment, I would have loved to be an NMD way earlier than I achieved NMD. But it was really the journey, which might sound so corny, but looking back, there were so many pieces of the puzzle that had to get connected before I was ready for NMD, before our team was ready for NMD, which who would have known if you would have told me 5 years ago, your team is going to achieve NMD in the middle of a pandemic? Who would have known? But it was just the time to lean in, right? And so I was QNMD for 5 years. And then, like Nikki said, our team achieved NMD when I was 27. And there were lots of ups and downs, but I think back and I realized that I really focused on the people. So I'm sure we've heard this before, but it's the relationships in this business. And I truly just stayed committed. I think something I did really well, especially graduating college, being 21 years old, all of my classmates are getting their first dream job, right? Getting their first job out of college. And I was just really committed to taking action in spite of fear and taking action, not on sites of what I wanted my paycheck to be that month, but what I wanted my paycheck to be 6 months from now, right? We all know that the action we do today, we're going to see months and months from then, right? So we kind of have to put our blinders on, which I'll talk about in a little bit. We kind of have to put our blinders on and heads down and be focused on where we're headed. But as we kind of got closer and we saw the opportunity to go in for NMD, there were really 3 main things that got our team to NMD. And once again, it was consistent events, more so online events at the time, but we were able to have some in-person events too. And then the second thing was phone calls. I heard from Eric Worre one time that if you are scared of something, do it 100 times and chances are you won't be scared on the 100th time. And so for me, that was phone calls. So I set a goal to make 100 phone calls with me, my team, my customers, my partners. Everyone was kind of included in the 100. I had no rhyme or reason. I just was smiling and dialing. I was inviting people to the next event. I was asking them how their Juice Plus is going. I was asking them how their family is, because remember, we're in the middle of a pandemic. So people were craving connection. And I do still believe that people are craving connection today, just as much as they were in the middle of the pandemic, if not even more. And so I just started to count. And I think on number 27, we lost count because we had so much momentum. I'm like, all right, we're going to hit the 100. I'm not going to keep counting. But it was really also the third thing was just having that unshakable belief. I think we can all relate no matter where we're headed of the like I said, success isn't linear, right? There's going to be the ups and downs, but you do have to have unshakable belief on your goal. And sometimes that means reminding yourself that over and over again. So I had this silly YouTube video of these affirmations. And I say silly because when you watch it, it's nothing crazy, but it was the repetition of listening to those affirmations over and over and over again. And so sometimes I would do them 5 times a day. Like anytime I had a doubt, I would turn it on and it would just put me in that mental focus, right? You have to flip the script sometimes. So as our team was going for NMD, I really do believe that it was just having that strong vision, no doubts, going to happen. The doors are going to open. The people are going to come. The orders are going to fall into place. It was just seeing that so clearly and knowing that like it's happening. So,
you know, what's really interesting to me is to think about that people want success in their career to go straight ahead or, you know, that linear kind of thing. But I really believe that journey to NMD is a microcosmic picture of an entire life, like a 70-year-old life. There are huge ups and downs, big wins, some losses, some grief. And it's just the same getting to NMD. That I just had that flash just now. And then I think it's so cool that at 20 years old, you were thinking what it would be like to have children. And 7 years later, you were NMD and you've got your baby now. You set this all in place. Do you ever like really pat yourself on the back?
no, literally last night I did this exact call for another team and I was just saying it out loud and I was like, I literally pat myself on the back because I have no idea how I was so discerning as a 21-year-old, but gosh, I'm so grateful I am. And I think no matter what age we are, like, let's just say 5 to 10 years goes by so much faster than you think. So yes, I do pat myself on the back, Nikki. I'm like, thank you, Emily. That was amazing.
I hope so, because I'm really finding it stunning. And then I know that you said affirmations sometimes 5 times a day, but was there anything else you did to build belief or to overcome objections?
Yes. clearly I remember like so many different little nuggets. Like I said, the pieces of the puzzle kind of all had to come together, right? So it wasn't just one magical YouTube video, it wasn't just one, magical set of affirmations. I think two bigger things was watching, and I watched this whenever I graduated, but then I would watch it over and over again, is there's a documentary called Rise of the Entrepreneur, which it's really crazy to think, because next month in March, I will have my 10-year anniversary with being a partner with Juice Plus. And I watched it fairly quickly after becoming a partner. And if you go watch it, it's on YouTube, it's free. It's called Rise of the Entrepreneur. I think it's by Eric Worre and some other people. And it's more relevant today than it was 10 years ago, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
Way more relevant. And it was relevant in the moment. Like it gave me chills, and it's what gave me vision to kind of step into this industry. And then, so once I said yes, that documentary definitely built my belief in the industry. Like I said earlier, becoming a student, I went to many GoPro Eric Worre's in Las Vegas, partially because I love to travel and I could at, a young age, but I just wanted to get solid in the industry because it was so different. I couldn't go look to, my parents to know anything about this industry. A lot of people didn't know about it. So I was like, I have to take charge. And then the second thing was I would listen to Building Your Network Marketing by Jim Rohn. And it was a CD that I would put in my car, and I would listen to it on the way to the gym and on the way home from the gym every day, which was 30 minutes there and back. So if you think about it, I was getting an hour of what I like to call Juice Plus University, but it's I think that's also on YouTube, Building Your Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn. And I just would listen to that over and over and over again. But of course, we all know we face objections, right? And so I like to think that I was coachable and teachable in the sense of there's so many trainings lingering around in the Juice Plus world on like how to face objections, certain questions to ask, certain things to do. But I do think that if I think back on my journey, it was these 4 simple agreements. Has anyone read the book 4 Agreements? It's one of my favorites. It's so good. You can apply it to so many areas in life. And when I look back on overcoming objections, I kind of think about the 4 agreements, right? You think of be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Always do your best and don't make assumptions. And I think so many times when we handle objections, we sometimes assume that they're, thinking something about us, or we assume that they don't want to purchase Juice Plus, or, we take it personally when someone says no, right? All these different things. And so I just think when you can stay committed to those 4 agreements, and then of course, learn a few skills here and there to, like I said, different questions asked and things like that. What I found though, is that most of the time, the more I built my personal, personal growth, I really realized that like, if I could be confident in myself, most of the time, those people just needed more exposure, more education, and really just more trust built, right? It's just like more exposures. It's not a no, it's just a no, not right now. So I think some of that just comes with building confidence.
Yeah. I love that you brought up Jim Rohn, by the way. I found somebody on Instagram today who has 30-second clips of Jim Rohn. And and Chris and I used to listen to Jim Rohn before we got into Juice Plus. So 35 to 40 years ago, we were listening to him. And every time I hear that kind of twang or that, I don't know, it just sets me up. So anyway, I'm going to include where to find that Instagram, because they're just 30-second snippets of him, and he's brilliant. He's really the father of everybody around entrepreneurial everything, speakers. I mean, to Tony Robbins and all of the rest. So so the next question is, and this is a really good one for right now, because we've got a great incentive right now to have distributors, but we just don't want anybody just because they can pay $10. So how do you attract new team? And how do you cast big vision for your partners?
Yeah.
So they're not just paying $10 and then they don't do anything.
Right, right. Well, first of all, I like to say, get really clear on the characteristics of the dream team people that you want on your team. And I also like to say, how do you attract new team? I think you look for them, right? It's almost like having your vision goggles on for looking for new team. I always say, I think maybe Kurt Beaver says this, but if you look for 5 new customers, chances are you're going to get 5 new customers. But if you look for 5 new partners, you'll probably get 5 new partners and maybe a few customers as well. So it's just kind of like the intentional mindset of being clear on who you're looking for so that you can go and attract that audience, but then also I think asking them, right? My upline, Jeanette Petrube, always says, you have to invite people to your party. They're never going to invite them. I think she sometimes says barbecue. Like, you have to invite people in. They might be watching, they might want an invite, but until you invite them in, chances are they might not even know that it's an opportunity to join you, right? And like Nikki said, this month it's $10 to join us. But really, it's what you focus on grows. So I think being confident in sharing your business story more. I'm really good about sharing my product story, but I'm leaning in this season to share more about my business story, because as I share it tonight, it kind of reminds me, it fires me back up. It like relights those fires of why I said yes. And I truly believe we need to care about people's finances just as much as we care about their health, right? So as far as giving them vision, I think it just goes back to that three-way connection call, getting them connected with your sponsor, getting them connected with your upline, getting them connected with one of your favorite events, giving them vision. And then the most important part is just helping them do the first step. Do step by step by step. And sometimes people want the big vision, and it's okay to give that. Like sometimes people want that whole marketing plan, right? Can you send me the marketing plan video? And I kind of have to gently talk them out of that, right? I want to give them vision for what's possible, but I also just want to help them do the first step. Let me just take you through step by step, and here's what's possible, but let's dial it back down and start with the first step.
Yeah, that's really great. I have a quick question. Your product story. What is your product story? We didn't hear what your experience was on Juice Plus.
Yeah, well, sorry if you guys hear Olivia screaming in the background. I'm hoping she'll calm down in a second. I might have to go rescue her. My product story is I went off to college. I was training for half and full marathons. I was the crazy girl running like 30 miles a week, 50 miles a week. And so I like to say I was physically fit, but I was getting sick. I was like the strep throat queen. I was getting sick with strep throat probably every like 6 to 8 weeks. As soon as I started to feel better and recoup, I would get sick again. So I was on antibiotics a lot, which we know what antibiotics do for your gut. So I think it was just like this like vicious cycle, right? And so when we were introduced to Juice Plus, my mom is a trained biologist, and she saw the research, and she was like, I know we don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. The research is incredible. Let's do this. So I actually was kind of the one who nudged her. I said, Mom, if you order your Juice Plus, I get my Juice Plus for free. And she was a single mom and had 3 kids in college. And she said, babe, I can't afford that. And I said, yes, we can do this. So I actually ended up, she doesn't like that I share this part, but a lot of you guys don't know her. So I'm going to share. I wanted Juice Plus so bad because I was so desperate to feel better that I actually wrote her a check for half of the amount every month for like our Juice Plus. Cause I was like, I want Juice Plus. I think we just started on the duo. So let's just say it was $50 back then. I just would write her a $25 check because that's how bad I wanted to feel better. So it was like commitment from the start. And it wasn't quickly, but it wasn't overnight, but it was quickly that I noticed I wasn't getting sick as often. I haven't been on a single antibiotic since taking Juice Plus. We started 10 years ago, and I haven't missed a day. And it's just obviously, as we know, just been a catalyst for so many other little lifestyle changes over the years.
Yeah, I'm glad I asked you that. So I am sure that some of the moms that are either listening now or will be listening over the next few days at the rebroadcast or the streaming on Facebook. So you're in the season of being a new mom, right? So what does your day look like? How do you schedule things? I mean, we often hear moms say, I don't even have time to shower. I mean, I can't get anything done. So what is your biggest income producing activity that you do every single week that gives you the most return?
Yeah.
So what's that like?
Well, I obviously, being intentional with your time, because being a new mom, I'm like juggling just how to figure it all out. But I kind of love this business because the things I do today for my income producing activities were the same things I did when I first started. And that is my 2x2x2 DMO worksheet. So I print it. I just print some in advance. So if you're going to go print it, just go ahead and print 5, have it ready to go. And then of course I do, power hours. I try my best to sit down and have focused time. Sometimes I have to, pause it and come back to it, but I really think the DMO worksheet is what allows me to kind of measure. It's a good way to measure my income producing activities. And, sometimes I hear like, oh, it's kind of mundane, it's the same thing over and over again. But my catch to that is when you have a clear vision and when you have a goal you're working towards, that worksheet, that DMO worksheet, the 2x2 is what brings that to life. That's like, it's what gets me out of bed in the morning to say, okay, this is how I'm going to get from A to B, right? So I just think doing those small mundane activities is usually what brings results in our business. And so just finding joy in those basics. I think just being consistent with the DMO worksheet is really what has brought me. I always say if I had to start my business over from scratch tomorrow morning, I would start with the DMO worksheet. I would start with the power hour. I would start with the personal growth, and I just would go little by little by little every day.
Yeah, that's just a perfect answer. And that really is it, that consistency and that focus,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, really quick, I just have to say, this last question, I want to kind of wrap up semi quickly. I have a call at 8:30 that I committed to, so I just want to be mindful of that.
Got it. So it's like, what's your best advice for other young moms pursuing the business?
Yeah, well, I think back and I'm like, gosh, if you can surround yourself with people that are living the life that you want to live, you know, we all hear that like you become, you know, the top 5 people that you surround yourself with. So I think that's important because that's going to keep your vision, you know, inspired, right? But then I just think feeling the fear and doing it anyways, which kind of sounds cliche, but if you can find a mentor and lock arms with them, if you're teachable and intentional with your time, like I just mentioned with the DMO, I truly believe you can have success. And I always like to say it just starts with one decision. It's not, you know, overnight. We have to see the big vision and then be able to take small steps towards it. But a question that I like for you to ask yourself is, do your actions align with your vision and your goal? So are your actions aligning with where you want to be, where you want to go? And so I also just think, like, lastly, I'll just say, I think it's just being really grateful for where you're at, which we hear all the time. Like if we get grateful in our relationships, in our business, in our life, in our health, all of those things, once you get grateful, you get going and you can't be stopped. And I think, Nikki, you may have even said this one time. I feel like I maybe heard you say this, but I can't remember. If you can write down, so when you're grateful, you're like more magnetic to paying attention to what you're grateful for, right? So at the end of every single day, I want to challenge you to write down one success that you had throughout the day, one win, which I know we're really good in this community about shouting out wins. But when you do this, you train your brain to see those little wins. You train your brain to see those little things that you're grateful for. So I just say there's never been a better time to jump in. There's never been a better time with our new CEO. We've always had an incredible product, but people now more than ever want to invest in their health. So I just think being confident in where you're in your decision, in your declaration, and just drawing that sand in the line and just saying, okay, I'm going to do this.
Wow. So I took a bunch of notes on all kinds of little things. I realized I didn't have a good notebook with me. I hope all of you took some notes, but you can watch this again because Emily really went over a huge amount of content in a short period of time. And if you really want to take advantage of some of the things that she taught us tonight, you might want to go back and rewatch this. Emily.
I have a board I'm going to pop into the chat here. It's like all of the resources that I went over tonight. If this link doesn't work for you guys, I will get it to Nikki and she can pop it in your team
If
call.
you just send it to my Voxer, that will even be better. If you'll just do that, I'll get it back out there to everybody. So I just want to thank you so much for your time and with all the stuff going on. And I hope, and so if you all want to unmute yourself and just shout out a big thank you.
Thank you, Emily.
Emily.
So good.
Really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
Inspiration.
Training.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks,
Have
Emily. It was
an
great.
awesome
Bye.
week, everybody.
Bye.
Mwah.
Bye-bye.
Love you all.
Be safe in India.
I'm going to be fun in India.
Yeah, there you
Have
go.
fun.
Good night, everybody.
Love you.
Love you all.